Lighting up the sky in a mountaintop village in China, 1,000 drones forming public health messages and images of child vaccination, hand washing, and the like. Let's meet the creative Filipino art and copy duo, husband and wife, behind this medical drone show, Kelvin and Sara de Joya from the creative agency F5. They join us now from Shanghai. Thank you so much for joining us, Kelvin and Sara. Kelvin, let me start off with you. Why is this medical drone show so unique and talked about?
Rico, thanks for having us. It's unique because usually the drone shows are just for entertainment. So what we created is to educate far-flung villages or people that are unreachable. Like we created it in unreachable to reach the villages who are unreachable.
And actually, when we received this brief, it was very exciting because Pfizer, they are quite new here. And then they also had a new sort of like a rebrand, a new launch of how they're not just treating diseases, but curing and preventing them. And there's also the social aspect of health equity, because all over the world, when you look at it, it's actually bigger cities that have access to better medical facilities and healthcare. So what they want to do is like bridge the gap where even people who live in far-flung villages, even in mountaintop villages, they can have access to great healthcare. And for this particular piece, we in F5 we do love to work with technology, and technology was the only way that we can actually make this happen of having sort of like health equity.
Kelvin, just taking a look at the video, amazing images put together by 1,000 drones. Tell us, how long did it take for you and Sara and your team to put this whole show together?
It took us like around 3 months to prepare everything because aside from that, because we're still in the pandemic, so from time to time, there's still like outbreaks around the city, most especially here. This is a province where you don't majority or probably majority of the people in the village are still unvaccinated. Of course, we don't want to infect that just in case if we have one. And we need to be careful and we need to prepare a lot of like for example, if the drone
just take a look at the logistics.
We need to solve.
Yeah, the logistics. Look at that, the logistics, just putting it all together. And Sara, do you plan to replicate this drone show to educate in other local communities in China or even in other countries?
That is the
that will
hope.
be actually that is the plan because we created like a healthcare for all. So we want to use the innovative spirit of Pfizer. Actually, probably the solution should not just be the drone show alone. Maybe we can do something differently using technology.
So
bring it here to the Philippines.
Be the first of many. And going back to the production, we're very thankful because we had to work closely with the local government and the team and the clients, of course, did such a fantastic job because we had to work closely with the local health sectors because the projections that you're seeing are not just common health tips. They're actually specific to the village. In that village we worked with in Baimiao village, we found out that babies aren't vaccinated so early, and then a lot of moms don't get prenatal exams. So we had to make sure that the information would be very relevant to them. So for that, the team, of course, did a great job in making sure the information.
You know what? But I'm sure now that our viewers in the final word and our kababayans are watching this, I'm sure we're all hoping that you'll be able to bring this technology and this creative talent to the Philippines. And I want to know more about both of you. I mean, your husband and wife, you both live in Shanghai. How did you both end up there? Why are you there and not here in the Philippines?
Probably hunger of because we really want to understand like technology, being in a place where they cultivate ideas and using different kinds of technology too. That's why when we got a job offer working in Beijing and in Shanghai, we already said yes immediately.
Yes, and it's also a very exciting place to be, as Kelvin mentioned. A lot of technology and innovation is here, and it's always fun to use them as tools to better convey ideas. So it's a very exciting place to be.
How different, though, is the creative agency industry in China compared to the Philippines?
Here in China, like every day there's a startup company.
Yes.
AI, you can just buy it in their Lazada version. We're actually Taobao. So it's actually everywhere. I think they have an oversupply of tech people here, so it's easier and it's cheaper.
It's more competitive, but it's also very exciting.
And for how much longer are you planning to stay overseas? When will you come back to the Philippines and learn and share with your peers and your colleagues here the best practices which you've learned abroad?
Well, we think like the pandemic has made everything remote. So when it comes to teaching or sharing what we've learned here, I think we can start as early as now. I mean, everything can be done virtually. We don't think geography can limit us.
Right.
So yeah.
Congratulations to both of you for the success of this medical drone show. Kelvin Ko and Sarah De Joya joining us from Shanghai.